Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the new Tiffen Neutral Density ND filter and polarizer kit that just came out about a week and a half ago. Now, if you're wondering why would you need this kit, I'm going to tell you there's a few different reasons to use ND filters and polarizers. For ND filters, it's mostly for video, and the point is to slow down the automatic shutter speeds on the Mini in order to expose video in accordance with the 180-degree shutter rule. Now, if you're not familiar with the 180-degree shutter rule, what it means is that the shutter speed should be set to double the frame rate for the motion to look cinematic. For the Mavic Mini, since you can't expose manually in video mode, and since it lacks an aperture, you can only control shutter speeds by using ND filters. What those do is they limit light without affecting the colors. Limiting light is normally handled by increasing the shutter speeds, which results in an unwanted stutter when it's very bright out. In a lot of cases, you can control the light in other ways and not need an ND filter. This is why a lot of people like to shoot on overcast days or at the golden hours during sunrise and sunset. But if you're like most of us hobbyists, you probably just want to fly when you can and you don't really care about the cinematic look. But I've seen some people complain about the stutter on the Mavic Mini, and using ND filters is one of the only ways you can combat that. Although there are some post-production techniques I can show you in Davinci that helps blend the frames together better, but that'll be in a future video, so let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. The other reason to use an ND or a polarizer filter is for long exposure photography, which this kit kinda could be used for on like an overcast day. Otherwise, the ND effect isn't strong enough to counter the sun on a bright sunny day. You need a higher ND stop, which this kit only comes with a 1, 2, and 3 stop filter, as well as a 1 and 2, 3 stop polarizer. So for polarizers, the main reason to use them is to cut the glare from the sun, which usually shows up when you're shooting the sky, water, snow, or any other highly non-metallic reflective surface. Polarizers can be useful in both photography or videography. So here's the 6 filter kit. There's also a 3 filter kit, which is just the polarized ND filters. The thing about polarized filters is they're variable, and you have to rotate them relative to the position of the sun in order to increase or decrease the polarized effect. So there are some advantages and disadvantages to the polarizer, and depending on what you're attempting to do, you can set up the polarizer in certain ways. A polarizer works best at 90 degrees from the sun. So a way to figure that out is you point your hand at the sun like it's a gun, right? And wherever your thumb is pointing is actually the correct way you want to point your camera. So thumb's pointing that way, sun's that way, point the camera that way, or anywhere with the relation to your thumb there. So you can point it this way or that way. Just has to be 90 degrees off the sun in order to get that maximum polarization. So there's also a ring on the polarizer with a little white line, and you can rotate it to increase or decrease the polarized effect. The thing is, in the cinematic world, you need to set this up for every single shot to get an even effect. And I'm gonna guess that 90% of Mini owners shouldn't worry about that. So I'm a big fan of Tiffen. I use their Mavic 2 Pro kit as well on really bright days, control light. Or if I want a certain kind of shot, like a close-up with some shallow depth of field. But that's not something that would be really achievable with the Mini. So I also use a Freewell ND1000 for long exposure day shots or long exposure time lapses with the Mavic 2 Pro. So far for the Mini, these are the only filters I've tried out. I've also heard that there are other ones that don't work with the gimbal, like the PGY tech set that was recalled. So I'm looking for another kit with higher ND filters so I can do some long exposure time lapses in photography. Anyway, so I want to get into how you attach this to the Mini. So it's going to be really hard to see. So this is the ND filter. This is with the polarizer. I don't know, I have no idea if y'all can see that. And it attaches to the front like most filters would, but it has these 2 little prongs that go across and down and kind of hook on to the Mini. It has this grill on the back of the camera what you do is you run those two prongs, you line it up into the middle there, and then those two prongs actually go into those grills back there, and then you just slide the filter then in front of the lens. It'll kind of lock into place there. Once it gets under the bottom lip of the lens, and then bam, there you go. So like I said, there's this white line on the filter itself, the polarizer filter, and that should be in focus. You probably can't see the white line though. But what you want to do is this is really hard and it's kind of weird, is you want to hold the Mini while it's on and adjust this ring. Now, I'm going to tell you from what I saw, so there's a white line on the ring and then there's a white line on the polarizer filter. And if you line the two up, it makes what I believe to be the maximum polarization effect. And then as you rotate it to say 90 degrees, so right now it's at the 9 o'clock position, you rotate it 90 degrees to like the 12 o'clock position or the 6 o'clock position, and that's like minimum polarization effect. And then you rotate it all the way to 3 o'clock, and then again you have maximum polarization effect. That's what I saw from it. So what you'll probably want to do is figure out where the sun is, you know, in relation to your shot, whether you want maximum or half polarization effect or whatever. Adjust this, then turn on the Mini and lift off and see what your shot looks like. And then if you need to make an adjustment. Now what I did is I have these straps for my controller, so I was able to put the controller like on my forearm while I'm looking at the Mini, holding it. So the controller's right here. I'm holding the Mini like this with it on and connected, and I was able to make adjustments, and that's how I could see what the polarization effect is. And I should have some video, but it's not a real fun process to do. You don't want to really be touching the gimbal while it's moving and moving up and down and stuff. So I did get a gimbal limit warning, so you have to be careful when you're touching that gimbal while the Mini is on. Hey, that's going to be it today, guys. So thanks for watching. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be doing more Mini content and Skydio 2 content in the future, as well as any other new drones that might come out. There's rumors about the Mavic Air 2 possibly coming out soon. And also, if you're bored at home right now because of what's going on in the world, check out my other videos. I got a lot of the different videos about the Mavic Mini and some different accessories that I like. And next week, I think I'm gonna do a kind of update because I've created new versions of a lot of the accessories that I made, a lot of my 3D printed accessories. So look out for that video, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.